He was bringing out all the dirty laundry.
So I just heard about this story from Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life. Talked about the killing of a young man by the name of Cameron Lamb. And this happened in Kansas City. The detective's name is Eric DeValcaneri. He was actually convicted of killing Cameron Lamb. But what has happened in the aftermath of his conviction is the detective has been granted an appeal bond. Sparking outrage. I want to just bring some of this story to you guys.
Now at 10, a Kansas City officer indicted for the deadly shooting of 26-year-old Cameron Lamb. He was shot and killed at his home December 3rd. Detective Eric DeValkner now charged with involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action, a step Lamb's family says is long overdue.
While the indictments are a step in the right direction, state law makes it difficult to hold these officers fully accountable.
And this is an initial report shortly after the detective was charged in June of 2020. So this is not a brand new case, but the developments with the detective being granted an appeal bond recently happened within the last couple of weeks.
We have live team coverage on this story tonight. We begin with 41 Actions reporter Ariel Rothfield, who joins us to break down the charges and the case. Ariel.
Well, Kevin, the charges come more than 6 months after Lamb was killed, and prosecutors say it was evidence presented to them by witnesses that are allowing them to take this case to trial. As Cameron Lamb backed his pickup truck into his garage, prosecutors say a Kansas City police officer knocked over his fence and fired his weapon, killing the father of 3 within seconds. The Jackson County prosecutor announcing Thursday that police officer will face charges.
Sounds like the typical case of shoot first, ask questions later.
First-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action.
His conduct was reckless. It was reckless, and it was in violation of the Fourth Amendment.
The officer, Eric DeValcaneri, a detective who is...
So maybe there'll be some civil rights charges to follow from the federal level.
Been with the department since 1999. Lamb died on December 3rd. At the time, Kansas City police said...
So that would be December 3rd, 2019.
Officers went to investigate a disturbance between 2 vehicles on the road. A police helicopter spotted Lamb's truck near 41st and College Avenue and alerted detectives on the ground. They say he pointed a gun at an officer and a gun was found next to his truck. But prosecutors say DeValcaneri and another officer never requested permission to enter the property. And 2 months after the shooting, police refused to provide a probable cause statement, forcing them to present evidence to a grand jury who indicted DeValcaneri.
These moments of reform, they're long overdue for us to have.
And the grand jury is no indicator that it's a solid case. You know, the old saying goes that any district attorney or prosecutor worth his salt could indict a ham sandwich if he truly wanted to. And there are reports that the gun found on the scene was planted. I'm not sure if it's going to be mentioned in this clip.
Discussions about how to reform the criminal justice systems.
The FOP released a statement accusing the prosecuting attorney of, quote, abusing her authority for political gain, writing, "It is undisputed that the suspect pointed a gun at another officer, which clearly demonstrates that Officer DeValcaneri's actions were justified. We place our trust in the judicial system to correct this wrong and ultimately exonerate this highly decorated officer."
Warnings have come, and especially, most specifically against me, to frankly discourage me from pursuing charges in this matter. Those threats didn't work then, and they won't work now. We will stay on this case. We will keep prosecuting this case. We will prove our case in a courtroom, And that's my commitment.
Court records show a warrant has been issued and bond set at $30,000. No court date has yet to be set. Reporting live in downtown.
So yeah, Officer Detective DeValcanieri was subsequently convicted and I think he was charged, I think he was sentenced to 21 months in prison. So they say now in an unprecedented decision, a Jackson County Circuit Court judge ruled on Tuesday that the former Kansas City, Missouri police detective who was convicted of 2 felonies in the shooting death of Cameron Lamb can remain free on bail pending a planned appeal. So this man gets to go home and spend time with his family and live his best life under the circumstances. Says that presiding judge J. Dale Youngs, who presided over DeValcanieri's bench trial and found him guilty of second-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action, granted the defense motion for an appeal bond rather than sending him directly to jail after his sentencing next month. Youngs said the prosecution failed to prove there is no combination of conditions that I could impose that would guarantee or reduce the risk of the defendant's failure to comply with court orders or to protect the community. He said the Missouri Supreme Court rule applies even after his conviction and sentencing. Despite the fact that Youngs has never granted such an appeal bond, in 13 years on the bench, he concluded that the defendant's incarceration without bond or other conditions that I might impose on him is not necessary to ensure his appearance at future proceedings. Youngs said his granting of the appeal bond will be subject to conditions that I will take up more fully with my consideration of the other issues, in this case at sentencing on March the 4th. DeValcanieri's attorney, Molly Hastings, successfully argued that while appeal bonds may not be common in Jackson County, they are allowed by the state's high court for bailable offenses. So they pretty much broke from protocols, the historical precedents in this case. Of course, they went out of their way to bend the rules or to go outside of their normal operating procedures to grant bond for this officer in this case. And again, he was only sentenced to 21 months. In his appeal, you know, I'm always pessimistic. It'll probably be, his conviction will probably be overturned. He won't do a day. So yeah, I just wanted to bring this to light. Hop down in the comment section, let me know what you think, smash that like, subscribe, and this is Bill Money signing off. I'll see you on the other side.